Recording in progress, you are all set.
Okay. Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency to order. As this is the first meeting of the year. We have a couple of organizational items that we need to take care of. The first of which is the oath of office, which will be administered by council.
Thank you. If you all could just repeat what I say and for the oath of office. So I state your name.
I, Peter Newman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of member of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency
of the office of the member of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The oath that you need to sign and acknowledge is in your packet. If you haven't already done so, please take a moment to sign and acknowledge. Next item of business is nomination of officers. We need to nominate and select the chairman, vice chairman, secretary, and treasurer. So begin with chairman. Do we have any nominations for chairman?
I would like to nominate Jim Peduto.
Second. Any other nominations? There being none, can we have a vote? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions besides me? Because I'm really on the fence about it. Next is vice chairman, and I'd like to take the opportunity to nominate Peter Newman. Second. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other nominations? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations, Peter.
Thank you.
Next, we need a nomination for secretary.
Like to nominate Elaine Miller. In her absence.
In her absence.
That's what happened.
Yeah, that's right.
Second, this, thank you. Any other nominations? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? None. Congratulations, Elaine. Somebody send her an email. And final office is treasurer. I would like to nominate Dan Crocker. Thank you, Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Congratulations, everyone. Your committee assignments for this year are in your folders, along with a full roster of board members, names, addresses, et cetera. Do you have any questions? Let us know. Again, thank you, everybody, for agreeing to serve and being here. No, we didn't have a meeting in December only because we had no meaningful activity or action. And I figured everybody could use a break since we had nothing. So with that, we need to approve the minutes from the November 4th, 2025 meeting. Everyone's received a copy of them, had an opportunity to review them. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? There being none, I'd like to entertain a motion to receive the minutes into the
So
record.
moved.
Thank you, Peter. Second. Dan, all in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? And obviously no opposition. Now we have come to the time to the meeting. Oh, yeah, before we go any further, conflict of interest. As we begin the meeting, I want to remind everyone of their duty to act in the best interest of the organization. In keeping with our conflict of interest policy, I ask each board member to disclose any actual potential or perceived conflict related to the matters on today's agenda. If you believe you may have a conflict, please state it now and write it in the form provided so it can be noted in the minute. If a conflict arises during discussion, please bring it to our attention immediately. If a conflict is identified, the board member must exit the room or the meeting while the item is being discussed. Transparency protects the integrity of our decision-making and trust post in the board. You all have the form. If you haven't already done so, please complete the form. I would note that There may be a perceived conflict with regard to item 10 on the agenda, pertaining to myself. I reviewed that perceived conflict with the executive director and council. It was council's opinion that I do not have a legal conflict of interest. So I noted it on the form, just to avoid any appearance of impropriety. I'll abstain, although I will not leave the room since I do not have a legal conflict.
Right.
Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Now we've come to the time of meeting where we get to have public comment. Anyone wishing to speak on any matter concerning the IDA, please feel free to do so at this time. Again, these should matters only be pertaining to the IDA. State your name, address for the record, and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Hello, John.
Hey, you look familiar. That was a cliffhanger. You know, I was worried that you were gonna lose that, you know? Let's see. It's different this time, I guess, is the title of this thing, and this concerns the tech park. Now, a tech park would indicate that there's more than one business entity. And I'm reminded, you know, the IDA, there was a precursor, the Valley Development Fund, that was Stephen Dragos had, it was an IDA, but a private entity. And then it just sort of morphed into the IDA when the legislation was created to create them. But I'm thinking, shall we go from the beginning? Savin, bankrupt, to the latest, IM3, New York bankrupt, almost got $750 million for a fraud. Then in between, Semiconductor Laser, Endicott Interconnect, Ubiquity Solar. You know, so what do you think is different this time? You're clearing land, you're buying land at premium prices, spending, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars to a law firm to do public relations. You know, you want to talk about a conflict of interest. I've never heard of that before. But congratulations to the town of Maine for standing up for home rule and their local government. This has been a heavy-handed, and it's just like the Charles Street Business Park. Now, even when you catch a break, which was Emerson Electric out of the blue coming in there, you couldn't parlay it for 10 years. And it went from the IDA to the BLDC, and finally the coupon book people come in and they immediately tried to flip it. So I don't know. All I know is this: the Research Triangle Park took from the 50s, back when Luther was governor down there. They wanted to move a lot of textiles and cigarettes, but it took decades. I mean, it wasn't in 65, IBM came in, and you know, it's not like you haven't got empty land. You know, you've got the GE site, and in the list of failures, remember that GE plant when they moved to Conklin, and it wasn't going to be like the GE plant that was over there. I mean, it wasn't going to be people with dirty fingernails. You just had to be off the charts to work at this new factory of the future. How long did that last? So, I mean, I guess we have to get bitten some more before we're shy. Public doesn't have any information. I think that's the crux of it in the thing. And when you come and you just put land up and you buy land for no apparent reason. Speaking of conflict of interest, you know, Thomas Della Penna, a county official, you know, risk manager of all things, you know. So I don't think you're playing square with the public. I think it's heavy-handed, and I don't think you're going to be successful. And that's the big thing. Success speaks for itself. And if this agency had things to brag about, I'd be all for it, but I don't see it. I don't see the results. And there's no indication that, and I mean, this thing at Huron, I mean, I thought Phoenix was in charge of Huron, you know? So I think this thing is about hustling government grant after government grant, the enterprise be damned. You know, we might as well have, well, we're gonna get daycare centers here, good, that's good. Anybody that's got a crooked mind can now be alerted and get into the daycare, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. If you could tell me where I'm wrong, I'd appreciate it. John, you and those people in the town of Maine are wrong. But why the secrecy? Why the premium prices? Tech Park, I mean, you know, the industrial park, the original one, wasn't resolved until Raymond came in and saved the day. I mean, that was very much a loose end for all those years. So well, I don't know if I wish you luck, but I think it's gonna be ugly. I think it's gonna be something that is gonna be, if it lingers for a long time, there's gonna be this is the thing about Binghamton and Broome County. Something goes a long time without happening. Towns are turning down developments. You didn't have a perk test. And then there's a rush. We have to do something. Like the way I got out of that thing for the alert. Maybe get a bell or something.
That's much better.
I'll bell.
That wasn't me.
I see there's, I see no one else has an interest in public comment at this time, but I thank John for his comments. I've also noted it's the agency's policy to provide members of the public the opportunity to speak and share their views during the public comment period. As you're aware, the board does not engage or respond to comments during public comment. That said, please understand that our decision not to respond should in no way be interpreted as agreement or disagreement with any particular statement. All comments that are received respectfully and are part of the record for our consideration. With that, let's move on to Stacy's executive director report.
Just a few things to report on right now. First and foremost, I would like to welcome Nick Bono to the board. It's a pleasure to have you, and we're looking forward to working with you, Nick. We did our board orientation with Nick on January 14th of this month, and looking forward to having you on board. And at the same time, I would like to acknowledge and thank former board member Rich Bucci for his time serving the board. And we are excited for a busy year ahead. I wanted to provide an update on 600 Main Street, an IDA-owned property that I think the board will be engaged in some activity with this spring. So as you know, we have owned that property since roughly 2018, when the Air Force deeded that property over to the IDA upon the completion of the cleanup and demolition of the former BAE site after the 2011 flood. Since that time, we have conducted a full DEIS and satisfied New York State seeker, and also conducted a redevelopment study for that. One of the significant challenges to really redeveloping that site just directly to a private investor is the fact that it is in a floodplain. So in 2023, we had applied for Fast Track C awards, which is actually infrastructure dollars. And at the end of 2023, we have received $11.3 million to elevate and redevelop the pad at that location. Since that time, the team that is working on that has issued bids for the fill. We received those bids in December of this year, or excuse me, of last year. Those are being reviewed right now, and we expect in the months ahead to bring a recommendation for a contract for that fill to the board. We're also working on assembling information for the town of Union related to ultimately what will become a site plan application. And it is our hope that an expectation to begin the fill. We have to minimum put down 2 feet of fill to satisfy DEC requirements, but our plan proposes to elevate it about 6 feet out of the floodplain with the utilization of about 20 of the 27 acres. Of that, some of that will be used for grading and parking, and then what would be remaining is roughly 14 to 16 acre pad for redevelopment. So it's taken a while to get there, but we're excited to begin that work this year. Lastly, I do want to, on the record, offer a brief statement with regard to the petition advanced by the town of Maine. As the Broome County IDA has shared publicly and has been reported in the media, the town of Maine has filed a legal challenge related to the Broome Technology Park planning process. Specifically, the town has initiated an Article 78 proceeding asking the court to review certain actions taken by the IDA as part of our early pre-development planning work. While we believe this challenge is misplaced, we are confident that the IDA has acted lawfully and appropriately. It is important to be clear about what this does and does not mean. This lawsuit does not stop the IDA's work to advance the comprehensive planning and extensive review for the Broome Technology Park concept, which we believe at that location is a vehicle for generational economic development and positive community impact. We remain focused on completing a thorough and fact-driven State Environmental Quality Review Act process so that residents in the towns of Maine and Union and across Broome County can review accurate information about potential impacts and benefits. We anticipate putting the draft generic environmental impact statement that is produced through this process in front of the board for review and to take action to advance to public review in the coming months. Because this is active litigation, we are not able to answer additional questions at this time. However, we wanted to ensure that the board understands and the public record reflects the status of this challenge, our initial response, and our continued commitment to transparency, collaboration, and a responsible planning process. We have never rejected any opportunity to work with the towns and will continue to act in good faith with the towns for the purpose of bringing economic opportunity to town residents and all residents of Broome County that deserve growth, jobs, and a sustainable future. And with that, I'll close my updates.
And I would note in everyone's packet is a list of current projects and their status. So that's what's in our pipeline.
Stacey, I just got a question about the Crowley one. It says paid but not closed.
Yes,
What's
the
that?
fee, so if about 2 years ago, we enacted a process by which once a project was approved for a pilot benefit, they were to make payments towards our fee at certain benchmark periods. They have satisfied that, but we are working with them to do the final pilot contract.
Okay, so it's all paid, so they're still committed.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
Correct.
So again, take a look, we'll update the pipeline every month. I think it's useful to have just so you can see the activity that's happening behind the scenes that we may not necessarily be aware of, where current projects are situated.
I do want to note one financial, in the internal financials, we did receive at the very tail end of 2025, the Gateway Revitalization Project. That's the First Ward Action Council's project along the First Ward in the city of Binghamton. We did receive that closing fee of $160,902. So you notice it'll show typically more cash than we carry in that account. So I just wanted to note that came in very late in the end of the year.
Any other questions for Stacy on the report? There being none, let's move on to the interim financial statements dated December 31, 2025. We have received a copy, and in addition, the variance report is included as well. Does anyone have questions about the interim financial statements?
Mr. Chairman, just one quick point. On the tech park budget, we list IDA proceeds and treasury note maturities as separate line items. And I think treasury note maturities are really just IDA proceeds. I think we could compress that together. I don't know that we need to call out the source of the funding.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Mine as IDA proceeds.
Yeah, it's just our money. It just happens to be the bucket you're taking it from.
Any other questions, comments? There being none, you've also received the loan activity report. Questions, comments, or observations about the loan activity report?
Really current, right, Antonio has paid his loan back in full. We are just now waiting for the additional payment for attorney fees and accrued interest. And we've given him, right, if you recall, till July. So once that's paid, we will. Yes, it actually did. That's right. Yeah.
That's
Any other loan activity report? There being none, let's move on to new business. First item is our 2026 meeting schedule, which is in your packets. You all had an opportunity to review it. May I have a motion to approve the schedule? Thank you, Peter. Second. Kevin, all in favor? Anyone opposed? That is our meeting schedule. Item number 8, a resolution adopting a tuition reimbursement policy to promote the professional growth of agency employees. This comes from finance.
Yes, it does. And forward is the motion to approve.
And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Peter. Discussion, questions? Then let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Item number 9, resolution adopting the 2026 to 2030 strategic action plan. Stacy?
Yes, there is a requirement for the board to formally adopt our annual strategic plan. We are actually at the beginning of a new strategic plan that would begin in 2026 through 2030. In the pursuit of this, the agency staff and board of directors have identify and pursue strategic priorities to spur economic activity in Broome County. These priorities guide everyday operations as well as the long-term projects of the agency. The strategic action plan for 2026 through 2030 is divided into 5 key priorities with a holistic approach to economic development with important community, industry, education, and government partners. I won't go into the full plan, but I will briefly highlight for the record the 5 priorities that were identified by board and staff to advance the adoption of this plan. Number 1, to advance a development-ready infrastructure and sites. Number 2, to drive economic revitalization and place-based investment. Number 3, to support a future-ready workforce and talent pipeline. 4, to foster business growth, innovation, and retention. 5, strengthen operational excellence, capacity, and regional leadership. Once approved, this and adopted, this plan will be posted on our website for public.
Thank you to everybody on the board who participated in the work session and to the staff for incorporating the suggested revisions. I think we have a really strong document. We have a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Thank you, Peter. Kevin, let's keep the pattern going.
Sure.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Stacy, you have a strategic plan? Get on it.
All right, we're on it.
Item number 10 on our agenda, resolution authorizing the executive director to engage Colliers to conduct a study to make a recommendation for the potential redevelopment of the Huron campus in Endicott, New York, in accordance with the master facilities plan and redevelopment strategy.
Mr. Chairman, this comes from the Governance Committee.
Thank you. As I mentioned, this is the item that I had a perceived conflict, so I'll continue the discussion, but I won't. Obviously, I will abstain. Do we have a second? Thank you, Kevin. Any discussion on the matter? Questions for Stacy? I think most of you were here during the governance committee anyway. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? One abstention. Item number 11. Resolution accepting the application from Firehouse Holdings LLC, providing a sales and use tax exemption benefit in the amount currently not estimated to exceed $63,426.80 to renovate and restore the existing historic fire hall building at 15 Avenue B in the village of Johnson City, and making the required secret finding.
Mr. Chairman, this also comes from Governance Committee with a recommendation.
Thank you. Second, Kevin. Questions? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Item number 12, resolution accepting an application from Fidelis LLC, providing a sales and use tax exemption benefit to the company in an amount currently estimated not to exceed $9,600 to renovate and restore the existing 8 residential unit building at 5 Gray Street in Binghamton and making the required secret finding.
Chairman, this comes from Governance Committee with a recommendation.
Thank you. Second, Kevin. Discussion, questions? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Carried unanimously. Daisy, I just want to confirm we don't have any need for executive session on your end.
I do not have any executive session items this month.
Do any board members feel the need for executive sessions?
Do not.
Being none, new business is concluded. We have no old business. Entertain a motion for adjournment. We'll move. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Anyone oppose that?